Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be showing every page that I've colored in this second month of 2024. It has been a blast diving back into my hobby, rediscovering all my books, all my materials, really appreciative of what I have. And so yeah, I will also be showing some whips, and I'm going to start with those. So these are is the stack of the finished pages, but at first we are going to take a look at the whips that I'm working on. The first one is in the Forest Girl coloring book, and it's a very old whip which I had abandoned because the colors were too dark, too muted. I didn't like how it was turning out. But flipping through this book again, I thought, well, maybe I can try to make it look a bit brighter. And I've already started with giving the girl more accents, I shall say. So more light in her hair, a bit of blush on her cheeks. I reworked the door. It was grayish blue beforehand, like the curtain here. So I'm not sure when I will be continuing the work on this page. I have to look and discover which pencils will work for the best, because I wanted to color with the brute thinners again, and they were not very pleasant on this paper. Maybe it's because I went over a layer of color already, I don't know, but so that's a project I will be finishing, maybe soon, maybe not, we will see. The next one is in one of the few jade coloring books that I've kept. I did a lot of them I have abandoned, but some of their art style was really still tempting. And one of the books is the mermaid coloring book, and this was also a project that I did ages ago, and I was so bored I couldn't see myself finishing this huge tail. Yeah, I did like how she turned out, but suddenly I couldn't feel it anymore, and so I stepped away. But now yesterday I did try to do some extra things on her already. So I've outlined some of the details of her body and her top. I've put on some fake Wink of Stella glitter on the skulls. I erased the color that was on the seaweed. I want to do it differently. I made these the shine around her in it's not coming, it's not very visible on camera. It's a bit, flat more, but in real life it's really poppy and really fluorescent, so she's a bit poisonous. That's what the thing I wanted to show. And then of course I added some stickles because and a bit of outlining, because it was quite dull the first time. So that is a bit of a rework I have already done. I did a bit of the ship as well, but still have to work on that. And of course a lot of work shall be invested in this mermaid and in the rocks. But I'm hopeful to finish this one pretty soon, because I'm really feeling it again, and I really want to play with this page, and I really like this book a lot, so it would be awesome to finish this up soon. I don't like what I did here, but well, it's a bit of a tiny detail on the page, so that's no problem. Another long-lasting whip is in the Metamorphia book. Reworked this last week with a white acrylic paint for all the cloud work. I've base layered everything with aqua markers by Arteza, and so yeah, the fox and the tail was already done I think I started it last year somewhere. But the background was done as well in that time, but all the rest was really putting me off. But I'm hoping to tackle it from time to time. So the tail is paint, some kind of copper tint. I really like how I did my fox with every shadow. I haven't reworked him now, so I was already doing quite a good job last year. I think it's from last year. But yeah, I did a bit on the mushrooms here, but yeah, they're quite simple. So I have to wait and see when I will be taking my time to do some details here and there, but it would be nice to finish this one up as well, but no promises as to when. Then this is a page that I just started a few days ago. Last year I've colored this guy, and so I want to give him, his neighbor friend, some color. So did everything a few days ago. The background with distress inks. I've played around with some water and with some gold ink from Winsor & Newton. The blue paint is Paul Rubens paint. She has some stickles on, and I've used Prismacolor pencils for the pearls, her lips, her eyes. It's all the same color. I thought it would look nice. So I really like how her lips turned out. I like my pearls. Maybe I will put on some glossy accent on them. Not sure yet. But yeah. I will see how it goes. But it would be lovely to make them a match. So I will see if I will work on it further. And then I've received, or I bought, the last available coloring book by Klara Markova. I wasn't planning to, since the shipping was quite expensive, but yeah, it's Klara. I like her artwork, so I just plunged. It arrived Wednesday, I think. And I'm doing a body color in this one. I'm not showing the picture on which we are working because my coloring buddy Amanda doesn't want to be spoiled, and since this video will be up later on today, she still has to start on her work, so I don't want to spoil her. She wants to step in blind, make her own color choices, so, and that's totally fine. But this is also a whip. We don't have spoken or we didn't speak about the timing. If we finish it later this month, it's fine. If it's only in April that we will finish, it's also fine. So we are not going to pressure ourselves, and that's really lovely. So, but I did make a start on it. A plus, Amanda told me that the paper is quite different from the other books, and I can confirm it. Watercolors are faster absorbed than in the other books. And so, and also my pencils, at first I did a bit of testing. That's something I can show. I did some testing here on the front page, and at first I thought that the luminance worked great. But my first object that I've colored, I've used some luminance for, and I'm not sure. It was quite a lot of work to make them nice looking. So I'm not sure yet. But as you can see, for example, the Arteza watercolors, you really have, they don't dilute that great because of the paper, even the Supras and the Albrecht Dürers. So yeah, we will see how it goes. I will test out some different media on this paper. And now I'm going to dive into the finished pages. I'm going to put these books here. The first one is I'm going to show them in the order of my least favorite to most favorite. The first one is in the Silhouettes coloring book by Hatchet Heroes from Disney. And I did this one. and I'm not too happy with it because of my yellow clocks. I was just working with gel pens for a glitter effect, and the paints also for a glitter effect, but I don't like how the yellow turned out. And if I have to be honest, I'm just not a person for coloring in. This is an older one. Some are doable, but some details around the silhouettes are just too repetitive, and I think I'm going to use this book to test out some background ideas or something. Maybe it will fit for these type of ideas, but I'm not going to color all these details. I will turn myself crazy and I will have a coloring slump within 5 minutes, I think. So no, not going to do that. So that was the first finished page. The second one was a whip, and it was okay, but not special. And the problem with this one is that I colored onto her eyes, and I wanted to rework it with a micron page, or yeah, I think they called micron. And so everything was okay, but she still looked funny. And I thought, oh, I will give her glasses, and I will put some glossy accents on her glasses. And turned out she was wearing a sunglasses all of the time, because the micron pen was totally, it dissolved using the glossy accent. So it's such a stupid look that she's having. But yeah, on the other hand, I think it's funny because the cat must be thinking, girl, I sit here without a glass or without glasses. What are you doing there with yours? So I was tempted to draw a little glasses here on the moon so that it looked like he had dropped them, but I thought, no, I will leave it like it is. And yeah, the background is Neo 2. I've used a lot of stickles. I've used some Mod Podge. I'm really happy with how my kitty turned out and how his bow turned out. Used some shimmery paint. So in the end it's okay, but the sunglasses, and maybe it would have been more nice that the background was a little darker, but well, it's a finished page. The next one is in Ticket to Dreams, and I really like how this turned out, but it was hard work, really. At first I wanted to color this with Inktense pencils, so I did my background with Distress ink, and I thought I'm going to color everything with Inktense pencils. But this paper, it watercolors, or at least the Inktense, it's terrible. It didn't work on the page, so I had to do everything by hand. I've colored everything with Prismacolor pencils. I was going for a limited palette, so I'm really glad with the outcome, but I don't have a nice memory on working on this page because it was such hard labor, really, and my hand was hurting a lot. No, it was a nice idea. I'm going to lift this book up, and I hope you can see everything. So there are glossy accents on my berries. I have this little mop also with glossy accents and with a paint that isn't visible if you hold the book like this, but if you're lifting it up towards the light, you have also a pink tone like in the leaves and stuff. We have, of course, some stickles on these blue things. I like how my leaves, I love how it turned out, but it was labor. Whew. I really was glad it was finished. So yeah, it's definitely one that I think it's quite beautiful because of the color palette and of the, if you see the end result, but it doesn't hold a happy memory, I must say, or not a pleasant one, I should say. So, but it's beautiful to look back to. That's at least something. Then I ordered this little coloring book because I had the first one, which will also be shown because this was a whip that I've received, but I'm going from least favorite or to most favorite, and I did a little page to tackle it already, and it was this little scenery. I've used, sorry for the blurriness, I have to rezoom manually with my phone. I'm filming with my phone always. So I've used inks for the background, pencils for everything else, some Paul Rubens paint for her tail, some glossy accents for some details, some clear Sakura glitter gel pens for this little, I don't know how it's called in English. Also some paints for the music notes, some stickles on her blouse. So yeah, it's tiny, but it was very quickly colored in. And so yeah, I'm pleased with how it turned out, but the one in my other coloring book by Crystal Vogels is more of my favor, I shall say. And that's what we are looking at right now. This was a whip from some time ago, and because I was super inspired by Shel's coloring journey with her layering and working with a base layer of Albrecht Dürer or other media, I decided to did this on this page as well, extra, and that's this result, and I'm really pleased with how this one turned out. It has a lot of shading on her dress and on his beard. It's poppy, I think. It's really, yeah. I like how his little hat turned out with all the shimmer. He has some glossy accents in his eyes. I've put some stickles on the plant and on her shoes. And some stickles here on this detail of her dress, on her, going to try and make it more visible like this. I'm sorry, my tripod, as you all know, is always blocking my view, but I hope it's not a problem to watch it like this. So I really like how it turned out. I love the light effect here on her top and on her leg. So yeah. Ooh. So that was this page, and I like this one a bit more than the other because it's also a bit bigger, of course, and yeah. And the other picture doesn't has base layering, and this one has, and it's visible. It's more vivid, so I'm thinking on doing it more and more in my colorings. And then we are coming to one of my favorites of this month, and it's in the Cinderella coloring book. It's quite a simple page, but I really enjoyed working on it. It has some distress ink for the background. I reworked her skirt because Fabiana does a lot of little details inside clothing and I don't like that at all. So I put those away with gesso. How is this paint called? Not acrylic paint, but gouache paint from Arteza. Super, very nice paint. So this is Arteza paint, and then of course the magic is with some glitter paint, and on top there's Mod Podge. I'm hoping it was showing up. And I have added some extra stickle stuff for more effect. And I like how her skin turned out, how her hair turned out. Yeah, it's really a magical page for me. Very simple, but a page doesn't have to be difficult to be nice and to be special to you. So yeah, very happy with this one. And then we are going to take a look in my Disney Portraits book, and I've never seen the film Hercules, but she was really appealing to me, and so I decided to color her. She's called Megara, I believe, and she has a base layer of markers, and then everything else is colored with, I think, Prismacolor pencils. So I'm super happy with how her hair turned out. She has a stickle hair band, or thing. My bottles are a bit magical with glossy accents and stickles. This one and this one is only stickles. The glossy accents is only for the other bottles. She has some stickles as well here. She has some glossy accents on her lips. And the paint is Kuretake Gansai Tambi, a red gem color, I think it's called. And I had a lot of fun working on her. I'm super proud with how she turned out. Yeah. And the background is distress ink. No, not distress ink, just Ranger ink. If you spray something on top, it won't budge. It's old photo something is the color called, and I thought it was fitting for a Hercules page. So that was this one, and I definitely want to work more in this book. Sometimes they scare me because they are so big, but I have to put myself over it because I love this book very much. It was a gift from a subscriber and I treasure it. So I'm really happy that I could finish a page. And then the last book is, I think it's called Mandala in the original language, but it's the Dutch version, it's Maanvallei. And the first picture I did, I think they're both equal to my liking. I did this one first. It's this sleeping mouse. And for this page, I was also inspired by an idea by Shel's coloring journey to put on little snowflakes on top of the page. I thought it was a lovely magical effect, and so I followed her idea, which I have seen in some of her videos, and I thought, oh, that's a nice detail. So I went with the same idea, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. I'm happy with the fur of my little mouse. I'm loving the ribbon. I don't like these flowers. It's a bit fake looking, but yeah, okay. Happy with how the leaves turned out. Yeah. I can't remember which pencils I've used. I think Prisma's for the little mouse, but the nest I'm not sure anymore. Maybe Pablo's. And then for the background I did do Supra Colors or Albrecht Dürer for a bit of the bluish detail, and I didn't put a lot of stickles on this page, only in the yellow flowers, and that's all. So it's very strange. A page without a shimmer isn't possible with me, but it's not too heavy, so that's already special in my book. But I'm really happy with this one, and I really like what I'm seeing, especially after a coloring slump. Seeing a page come to life like this, it's so satisfying, and I'm so happy. And then the last page, which is equally my cup of tea as the first one, is this one. And for this page I decided to go for a limited color palette, and the colors that were chosen were brown, 2 tones of pink, an eggshell color, and green. And I did everything on the page, but because it looks like fluorescent yellow, but it's a green tone. I'm not sure anymore. I think it's a Holbein green. And I decided to after I've colored the butterfly, I thought, oh well, maybe it's not too bad that it's another type of green, because it's really coming out of the page. The rest is quite muted. It's a bit of a vintage looking picture, I think. And so I decided to do the bird in the same colors as these flowers. And then for I can't think of the word, which he is wearing, is the same colors as I used on these flowers. And the color here in her wings is the same as this one, but because it's so tiny and there are stickles on it, it's looking a bit darker. And for the girl herself, I've used the same green as a base as the butterfly, but I really like these type of outfits. I have one myself in jeans. I adore such pants with an adjusted top. It's called salopette here in Belgium, or tuinbroek, and I really like it, so I just had to give her a jeans salopette. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. I'm going to lift it up. And again, it was a page started from 0, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. And it's so nice. I didn't realize that I did 2 in Mandala. I really thought the other one with the sleeping mouse was in Luna or another coloring book by Maria. But it was also in Mandala, so I did 2 pages in this book, and that's really lovely. On the bird, there's also a kind of wing of Stella, but in pink. It's a fake one from my cheap shop. And as for stickles, only the butterfly and the little fairy have some, and that's it. Also very limited. And really happy with how this one turned out as well. And with this page left open, I'm going to say goodbye, because these were all my pictures that I've colored the past weeks and days in February. And so I hope March will be as productive as February was. I can't say this name in English, it's a disaster. It's easier in Dutch. But anyway, I'm really, really, really enjoying my coloring again. I'm so happy. I'm so enthusiastic about it. I really have some nice chats with Amanda, my buddy color partner. She's also such a passionate colorist. I will leave a link to her channel down below, because she really has positive vibes in her videos, and yeah, we definitely have a match, person-wise, and yeah, it's so nice to chat to another passionate colorist and to share ideas and experiences. And yeah, I think it can only make my coloring journey better and stimulate me to try some things extra. And yeah, super happy with how my hobby is developing at the moment, and that I've made a new friend, thanks to YouTube and coloring. So anyways, I'm over an half hour in, so it's time to say goodbye. I really hope you've liked everything that you've seen. If you have any questions, or if you want to say something about the pages, leave the comments down below, and I hope I will see you in a new video next month. Or maybe I will make a video for in between. That's also a possibility, maybe with some older works for some artists that I really like and that I want to highlight, my favorite pages in their books. I'm not sure yet, but we will see. So anyway, take care of yourself, and I will hope to see you soon. Bye. Thank you for watching.